is my life. I lay it all down. I'd rather have Jesus. I'd rather have Jesus. All of the treasures could never measure. Just give me Jesus. Just give me Jesus. Lord, here is my life. I lay it all down. I'd rather have Jesus. I'd rather have Jesus. 'Cause all of the treasures could never measure. Just give me Jesus.
morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, Breaking Stronghold Ministries. Good morning, YouTube. Good Orlando, keeping it simple. Good morning. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Everyone, how's everyone doing this morning? I hope that this is the day that the Most High have made. So let us be glad and rejoice in it this morning. How's everybody doing? I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed your offsprings with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope He has really protected them through their obstacles as well as yourself through your obstacles in today's world. I really truly hope He has. I hope He really had truly blessed them over and abundantly. As for my week, I really can't complain too much, but understanding that this is our reality, this is our world, and I'm grateful for being where I am. This is my born date. This is the day that I came out of my mother's womb. This is what we call my birthday. Today is my birthday, and I'm giving us teachings on my birthday. So, but if anybody want to cash out me, let me know, and I'll be glad to give you my cash out. But yeah, this is the day that the Most High have made, and I'm happy and I'm grateful that I'm able to see another year. I'm able to still continue to do the things that I do, even though I may not have the views that I want. I may not have the build. I'm thinking about going back into a building, but I'm very happy for this day that the Most High have made for me to be able to just appreciate it and be able to see another year. So, I'm happy about that. But let us go ahead and get started this morning on Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And it reads, and El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah. It says, and Adonai spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Adonai, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other else before me. And thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah thy Adonai, am a jealous Adonai, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Adonai in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy Adonai. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore, if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy day belong upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Let us pray this morning. And it reads, it says, O creators of the heavens and earth, and of our radiance and vibration, soften the grounds of our beings and carve out a space with us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear fruits of our missions. Let each of our actions bear fruits in accordance with our desires within your purpose for our life. Restore us with the wisdom and produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled thread of destiny that binds us as we release others from the entanglement of the past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which distracts us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of present moments. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the creator and power and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. So let it be. Like I said, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is doing good this morning. I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and joy. I hope the Most High really truly have, blessed your offsprings and have given them everything that their heart desire. I really truly hope He has. I really truly hope He has. But like I said, if you do want to give me a gift for this day that I came into the world, I'd be glad to receive it. Yes, I surely will. But if you can, turn to the book of Daniel, Daniel chapter 9, Daniel chapter 5 this morning. Daniel chapter 5 this morning. And I'll be reading out of the Septuagint again this morning. The Septuagint this morning, because I want to start reading out of different literatures. I want to start reading out of other books, like I read out of the book of Enoch. I want to start reading out of, I know I read out of the Apocryphers. I want to start reading more out of that. To the audience, I want to start reading more out of the book of Remembrance. I want to start reading more out of the Legends of the Jews Complete in the Nag Hammadi. I want to start reading more out of that. And other books I want to start reading out of. So I'm going to need you to start broadening. I'm going to start reading more so to start pushing you to start elevating your thoughts on the Most High, the Mashiach of Christ. Okay?
And not the seal portion.
And yes, I will start reading more out of the seal portion.
Not the seal portion.
I'm going to start reading more out of the seal portion, which is this book right here.
The Third Testament.
I'm going to start reading more out of this book, the seal portion, and the Third Testament. I'm going to start reading more out of this. So, because I'm tired of being stagnant, because there's more information out here than we could ever imagine. And I want to push us a little bit more. But let me read you a couple of things before I get started. Okay, I said, how much money has the U.S. government given to Ukraine? It says that the Joe Biden administration and the U.S. Congress have directed about $75 billion in assistance to Ukraine, which includes humanitarian, financial and military support. Okay, they gave over 75 billion to Ukraine. Okay. Then I said, how much money had the United States given to the state of Israel? Okay, how much aid has the U.S. sent to Israel? Israel has been the largest cumulative recipient of U.S. foreign aid since its foundings, receiving about $300 billion or more in total economic and military assistance. So the United States done gave Ukraine in the last 3 years over $75 billion. They gave the state of Israel over 300, probably over $300 billion. Okay. And then I also said, okay, then I said, how much money has the United States given to the HBCUs? It says the Biden and Harris administration has taken historical actions to support HBCUs by investing over $7 billion in HBCUs, which is a lie, which includes $3.6 for HBCUs through the American Rescue Plan. That means that they didn't actually get the $3.6 billion. And then it says and other COVID relief. But they have only given the HBCUs, they only gave $1.6 billion in capital finance debt relief. Listen. $1.6 billion in capital finance debt relief for 45 public and private HBCUs. All the money that they don't gave to other institutions. Now let me see how much money. Power 5 conference made billions last year. Okay. Okay. It says that the NACC annually distributed about 60% of all NCAA revenues, more than $600 million. This is just in 2020, 2021. But it says that this is what it's, I didn't get a chance to pull that up, but it says NCAA generates nearly $1.3 billion in revenues for 2022-2023 season. So the amount of money that Biden and Harris administration are going to give the HBCUs, the Division 5 powerhouse schools earned that in just 1 year. And the government gives them money for research. For research on different projects. Sometimes they give them over $8 billion. Research and development spending by academic institutions total $97.8 billion. How much money does the United States give? How much money does the U.S. government give to universities? At the post-secondary level, public colleges and universities spend about $29,000 per person. Okay. Okay, it says the federal funding for the post-secondary institution is it's not gonna tell us, but they normally give them about $3.4 billion. a year. And it says universities report largest growth in federal aid. This came out on December 15, 2022. It says research and development spending by academics totaled about 89.9 in the fiscal year, and an increase of 3.4 from 2020. Biden and Harris announced a $93 million. The grants are being provided under the Research and Development Infrastructure Program and the Post-Secondary Success Grant. So the amount of money that the government have given predominantly PWIs is way more than they ever have given HBCUs. And then you got to look at how much money have they given Ukraine, how much money have they given Israel, and all of these things. So you got to be mindful. Is this presidency, is there benefiting you when you get ready to go vote? But let us go ahead and turn to Daniel chapter 5. Go ahead and turn to Daniel chapter 5. Daniel chapter 5. Daniel chapter 5, it'll be 1 through 23. I'm going to read all of it, but I'm going to go kind of fast so that we can get all of it in. But then the key verse is verse 5. Daniel chapter 5, verses 1 through 23. But the key verse is verse 5. And it reads from the Septuagint. It says, in the same year came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote in front of the lamp of the plaster of the wall of the king's house. And the king saw the knuckles of the hand that wrote. Let me write it again. Reread it again. It says, in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand, and wrote in front of the lamp on the plaster of the wall of the king's house. And the king saw the knuckles of the hand that wrote. Okay, if I may give a title of the text today, the title of the text today is The Writing is on the Wall. The writing is on the wall. If I may give a word today, one word I'm going to give. I couldn't think of many others. The word is contempt. Contempt. C-O-N-T-E-M-P. C-O-N-T-E-M-P-T. And it means C-O-N-T-E-M-P-T. Contempt. And the word means the act of despising. The act of viewing or considering or treating as means or vile. It means worthless, or it means disdain. Treating some person as they are worthless or disdain or nothing. That's what contempt means. Okay? So, that's what it means. And the title of the text again is The Writing is on the Wall. Contempt. The act of despising, the act of viewing or considering and treating as means, vile or worthless. Disdain, a hatred of what is mean or deemed vile. Open disregard or disobedience. Okay, so what goes on in the book of Daniel is that when Daniel and the children of Israel was taken out of Jerusalem and sent to Babylon. And the reason why they were sent to Babylon is because they were disobedient. That King Jehoiakim had made a pact with Nebuchadnezzar. And when Jehoiakim broke the pact or the covenant or the relationship with Nebuchadnezzar got upset and he went and conquered Jerusalem and brought the children of Israel to Babylon. But also what Jehoiakim did, he made a pact with Babylon and did not make a pact with Yahuwah. So that was one of the main issues that Yahuwah had with Jehoiakim, which is the king of Israel at the time. So he made a pact with Nebuchadnezzar. He did not make a pact with the Most High. Anytime you want to make a covenant or an agreement with the man on the earth, Yahuwah will get upset with you about it and put you into bondage. Never make a covenant or a pact with the man on earth. That was the reason why Jehoiakim and the children of Israel went into bondage, and the Nebuchadnezzar took them into bondage. So once they got into bondage, everybody know the story of Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys, and they was tried through the fire, they was tried with the food, they was tried with a lot of different things. But it was also there to show Nebuchadnezzar that he did not rule the children of Israel. It was showing us that if we just be faithful to the Most High during our captivity, he would protect us and he would lead us and guide us. But as long as we be disobedient in our captivity, he can't do anything for us but punish us. So that's why Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys, or the 4 Hebrew boys, or 3 Hebrew boys, was so important in the stories that they were showing you during the time of their captivity, they were still faithful to Yahuwah. And the more obedient and faithful you are towards Yahuwah, the more Yahuwah will bless you. And he also will make your enemy have peace with you. But as long as you're disobedient in the land of your captivities, he don't have any choice but make you go into punishment. He don't have no choice but to punish you during your captivity. Because you have to understand why you are in captivity. Because of your disobedience. So if you're going to be disobedient in captivity, he's just going to punish you even more. So once Daniel was showing Nebuchadnezzar that he was not in charge and he was not going to bow down to Nebuchadnezzar when he made the trumpets sing in the middle of the day and go bow down to the statue. Well, that was basically a setup to show Nebuchadnezzar that you do not rule the children of Israel who are faithful to Yahuwah. You only rule those who are not faithful. And that's something we got to understand during the time of this captivity. We have to be obedient to the word. We have to be faithful in our belief system. So, and when we come to chapter 5, it was after the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was gone for about 70 years, and it was another king that was in charge. And the king that was in charge called Belshazzar. Belshazzar was a king, a young king who did not have any respect for Yahuwah. He only believed in their God. He only believed in the Babylonian God. He only believed in their God because of how well their city, how well their countries was doing at the time. And it's like, that reminds me of the people who love America so much. The reason why they love America, the reason why they love the quote-unquote Jesus Christ so much is because they see that America is doing well. If America wasn't doing so well, would they love Jesus Christ so much? And it was basically saying that only reason why people believe in God is because their cities are doing good. Not because their cities are doing bad. They only believe in their God or Jesus Christ because this city or the United States is doing good. But once the country or the continent or the country of the United States fall, will those people still love Jesus Christ the same way? Because I want to remind you that the same people who just recognized that Yahshua the HaMashiach was black, they burnt over 200 Bibles. So if the city had really truly fallen, would the people really actually believe in the Creator? Or are they just believing in the Creator because the city is doing well? And that was the situation in Babylon, because Babylon was a well established country. It was profound. It was powerful. It had it going on. I mean, it was very successful. It looked good. It made everybody wanted to come visit because of how fabulous it was. But them not knowing that it was a city of idolatry, a wicked place to live. But they was only worshiping that country, worshiping that God because of how well the country was built, not because of what the country was actually doing for its people. So now, when Belshazzar at this time was having a banquet, he was having a banquet, a feast. And what he was basically having a feast for is because he wanted to get the people's minds off of the conditions that was going on in the world at the time. He wanted to get their minds off the conditions because the conditions was horrible. They was getting ready to be invaded by the Medes and the Persians. But the king did not want the people to realize that they was being invaded. And the country was getting ready to fall. So what did he do? He occupied them with so much other stuff that they really could not focus on the reality. And if you look at the world today, in the United States is more focused on sports and entertainment and other things more than what's actually going on in our society today. It's keeping your mind off the reality. It's keeping your mind off of, we probably had over 115 food processing plants that's been destroyed in the last 4 years. We have understand that Bill Gates have bought up all the farmlands in the United States. Majority of all the farmlands in the United States. It's keeping our mind off. The food is not good for us. The water's contaminated. Everything about Babylon is negative. It's not positive at all. It is contaminated. It's destroyed. It doesn't have a good foundation. So how they keep your mind off that? They keep your mind off of going to the movies, going to this and doing that and watching a football game, watching the baseball game, watching the basketball game, watching Housewives of whatever city it's in. For you not to pay attention to actually what's going on in the world or in society in itself. America has lost its power throughout, and has lost its reputation throughout the whole world. But people would not know it because they're so distracted with the Donald Trump trial. With everything that's going on in the world, they would not know that the United States have lost its power throughout the whole world. But they thinking that is good, but when they go to the store, if they read the back of the food label on the product that they buying, it tell you that the food is actually no good for you. It's going to cause cancer.
Yeah.
But we choose not to look at that, but we choose to let me go look at football. Let me go look at my basketball team. Let me go look at my baseball team. But not recognizing that the country has fallen. That is the way the conditions was in chapter 5. The country of Babylon has fallen. The Medes and the Persians are to come in and destroy it. And I told you last week that the Medes are the Iranians. They getting ready to come in and destroy Babylon. But they're entertaining themselves so that they can't see the invasion of Babylon by the Persians and the Medes. They're so occupied with everything else they could not see what was going on in the world. So now we're at this point where we're at a banquet. The king is at this banquet. The king is at a banquet because he's trying to preoccupy the people's mind with what's going on in the world. Because Babylon has fallen, but the people do not know it because the king got them so preoccupied with everything else. The government got you preoccupied with everything else in the world that you can't actually see that your country has fallen. Okay? So it says in verse 1 out of the Septuagint, okay? In Dawid or Daniel, chapter 5, verse 1, it says, Belshazzar the king made a great supper for his 1,000 nobles. Listen to that. Now I want you to listen to the story. Listen to what's going on. Belshazzar the king made a great supper for his 1,000 nobles. And there was wine before thousands. And Belshazzar drinking gave order as he tasted the wine that they should bring the gold and silver vessels which Nebuchadnezzar his father had brought forth from the temple in Jerusalem. Now they're at this celebration, drinking and having a good time. But now this king gonna do a very disrespectful gesture. This king gonna do a very disrespectful gesture. He's gonna do it towards the Most High because of what he thinks. He's a high-minded king, thinking that he got it going on the way he got it going on, but in actuality, he don't have it going on. Just like the United States think we got it going on when nobody in the world respect the United States anymore. One of the guys called Anthony Blinken, he called him a devil. Don't nobody really truly respect the United States anymore like they used to. They call this man a devil in his face. Don't nobody listen to the United States opinions about anything no more. Because it's lost. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And I'm going to tell you about it, okay? Okay, and then it says, his father had brought forth from the temple in Jerusalem that the kings and his nobles and his mistress and his concubines should drink out of them. So what happened is he was bringing the treasures that they got out of Jerusalem. And they're going to bring the treasures and they're going to use the cups from Jerusalem and they're going to drink it and show no respect to the Most High for what he's doing. He said, he's basically saying that I don't have no respect for the children of Israel's God. I respect my God more than I respect their God. So whatever I'm doing now is because my God delivered me, the children of Israel. Their God didn't protect them, but my God gave me the victory over them. Him not realizing that his God didn't do anything. But it was the Most High that delivered the children of Israel into the Babylonians' hands. So let us go to Judges chapter 16. Judges chapter 16, verses 22 and 23. I'm going to go to 21, 22, and 23. Judges chapter 16, verse 21, 22, and 23. It reads, but the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with feathers of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. Then it says, howbeit the hairs of his head began to grow again after he had shaven. Then it says, and then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon, their God, and rejoiced, for they said, our God has delivered Samson, our enemies, into our hands. See, every time when somebody else get the victory over the children of Israel, the enemies think that their God did it, but in actuality, it was our God, it was our Most High allowing them to have victory over us because of our disobedience. Their victory didn't have anything to do with them. The victory has everything to do with our disobedience and our Ananiah. Our Ananiah. Because if we just be faithful and have obedience to our Ananiah and follow the law, statutes, and commandments, we'll have victory over all our enemies. But because when we're disobedient, he gives them the strength and the power to have victory over us. Let us go to Isaiah chapter 42. Because I want us to understand something. Just like the U.S. think that everything they're doing is coming off of what they do. No. Everything that happened to the United States is because what our Ananiah have allowed to happen. Because we need to understand that he's in control. That's why Genesis chapter 1 is so important. Understand who is in control. Man is not in control of nothing. It's the Spirit. It's the Most High that's in control. It's Ananiah that's in control. In Isaiah 42, 7 and 8 it says, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. Out of the prison house. It says, I am Yahuwah, that is my name. My glory will I give. My glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. See, Babylonians, they praise wood and stone. The United States praise wood and stone. They does not praise a spirit. They do not worship in spirit and in truth. So when everybody thinks that the graven images gave them power, it wasn't the graven images. It's just like people think that they're so uppity when they have all these material possessions. But once they lose those material possessions, they don't have that same mindset. They feel like they are nothing. But in actuality, you've been the same with it or without it, but you just had a different mindset when you had it and when you did not have it. Let us go to Hosea chapter 2. Because I want us to understand something. It's 8 through 13. I want us to understand something. Babylonians thought that they had the power to bring the children of Israel into Babylon. No, the Most High gave them the power. The Europeans who got the slaves off the coast of Africa and brought them to the Americas, or enslaved the native people that was here in America, they thought that they had the power, but in actuality, we lost our power because of our disobedience. So when we lost our power, we had to go into punishment. Then it says in Hosea chapter 2 verse 8, it says, for she did not know that I gave her corn. Listen to that. For she did not know. People think they know, but in actuality they don't know. For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore I will return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. So the Most High said, I gave you something, but then you're going to turn around and act like Baal. You're going to sacrifice it to Baal and not give me the praise and the worship that I deserve for it. Then it says, and now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lover, and none shall deliver her out of my hands. And I will also cause her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moon, her Sabbath, and all her solemn feasts. It says, I will destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she has said, there are many rewards that my lover have given me. And I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them. And then it says, and I will visit upon the days of Balaam, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewelry, and she went after her lover, and forgot me, saith Yahuwah. See, as soon as we start to forget who is the creators of the heavens and earth, who created all these things, and we start acknowledging someone else, the wood and stone, gold and silver, we start acknowledging all those things as our Anani, that's when he will get upset. That's why chapter 21 through 4 in Exodus is very important. It reads in Exodus 20, verse 3, it says, thou shalt have no other idols, no more other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down to them, bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah, thy Anani, am a jealous or angry Anani, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generation of them. He's telling us that we have to worship the Spirit, not the things that was created. Because the Babylonian Empire, that's what they was doing. They was worshiping the things. Okay? Then let us go back to Daniel chapter 5 verses 3. Listen to this. I want you to hear this, okay? It says, so the gold and silver was vessels, were brought which Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple of Anani in Jerusalem. And the king and his nobles and his mistress and his concubines drank out of them. And they drank wine and praised the gods of silver and of gold and of brass and of iron and of wood and of stone. Understand what they was doing. That's what we do here in America. We praise the cars, clothes, and houses, and not praise the Spirit. They allowed us to be able to get the things that we have. That's what we don't praise Yahuwah, the Spirit that allowed us to wake up in the morning, that gave us the wisdom and knowledge and understanding to be able to accumulate these things. We praise the things that we have, as if those things really gave us anything. Then it says, in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote in front of the lamp on the plaster of the wall of the king's house. And the king saw the knuckles of the hands with that wrote. Let me tell you something. The writing on the wall, it means that there are clear signs that a situation is going to become very difficult or unpleasant. When he saw the writing on the wall, he knew that something was out of the ordinary at this point in time. And see, a lot of us don't want to see the writing on the wall here in America. We don't want to see, we got food shortages, we got high gas prices. We don't want to see that the food we're eating is not good for us. We don't want to realize that the water we're drinking is contaminated. We don't want to realize these things. Even though it's the writing on the wall, we don't want to realize that. It says, then the king's countenance changed and his thoughts troubled him. And the joints of his loins was loosened and his knees smote one to another. Because he understood that something was getting ready to happen. He understood that something wasn't right. Even though I'm in the midst of this feast and I see the writing on the wall, something ain't right. That's where we should be right now. We should be wondering what's going on. Let me get myself together. Then it says, and the king cried aloud to bring in the musicians, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And he said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing and make known to me the interpretations shall be clothed with scarlets, and there shall be a golden chain upon his neck. And he shall be the third ruler in my kingdom. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing nor make known the interpretation to the king. And the king Belshazzar was troubled, and his countenance changed upon him, and his noblemen was troubled with him. And see, we got to understand that, no, the United States government may not be telling you what's going on, but they are having meetings behind the closed doors, trying to figure out how we're going to stop this bleeding. How are we going to stop this from happening to us? Because we understand that we have lost our power throughout the whole world. We understand that we are feeding our people contaminated food. We understand that we don't have the best educational system. We understand that we have poisoned them on so many different levels. How can we stop this bleeding? They're having backdoor conversations, but they're not telling us about it. Let us go to Job. Let us go to Job. Job 18, 11 through 14. Because we got to understand something. When we see the writing on the wall, people see it and the government see it, but they're just trying to figure out how to deal with it. What does this actually mean? Job 18 and 11 reads, it says, terror shall make his feet, make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terror. Understand that when you see the writing on the wall, it brings on an emotion that can make you fearful. It can make you paranoid. It can make you scared. Because you don't actually know what's going to happen. Even though you see the writings on the wall, You see everything that's going on. You see this stuff, but you don't actually know what kind of trouble is going to come out of it. And see, the thing about it is, the governments are worshiping deities, don't even have any. They're worshiping deities of wood and stone. They're not worshiping the spirit and truth. They're worshiping deities of wood and stone. By their own might, they're doing these things. So when they do that, they're bringing on trouble for everybody in that nation. So let us go back to Daniel chapter 5, because we got to understand something. Now trouble is on the horizon for this king. Because the simple fact is, he have did some things that was very disrespectful to the Creator. Verse 10, it said, Then the queen came into the banquet house and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, and let not the countenance be changed. Because he was afraid of what he saw on the wall. He was afraid there was a warning sign to him of what's getting ready to come. He knew something was going to happen, but he just didn't know what it was. Then it says, There is a man in thy kingdom in whom is the spirit of Ananiah. And in the days of thy fathers, watchfulness and understanding were found in him. King Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, made him chief of the enchanters, the musicians, the Chaldeans, and the smoothsayers. For there is an excellent spirit in him. Listen to that. There is an excellent spirit in him. Sense and understandings are in him. Interpretations, dreams as he does, and answering hard questions, and solving difficulties. It is Daniel, the king gave him the name Beljar. Now then let him be called, and he shall tell thee the interpretation of the writings. You don't think these people know? You don't think the government knows who they have in captivity? They knew who Daniel was. You don't think the United States government know who they have in captivity? You don't think that they know that we are the real children of Israel? They know that the Most High speak to us. They know what's actually going on. They know this. Just like in the book, they knew who Daniel was. And it says in verse 13, Then Daniel was brought in before the king, and the king said to Daniel, Art thou Daniel of the children of the captivity of Judah? Listen to that. They knew. They know. Our government knows. Which the king my father brought, and I have heard concerning thee, that the spirit of Ananiah is in thee, and that the watchfulness and understanding and excellent wisdom has been found in thee. And now the wise men, musicians, and smoothsayers have come in before me to read the writing and make known to me the interpretation. But they could not tell it me. And I have heard concerning thee that thou art able to make interpretations. Now then, if thou shalt be able to read the writings and to make known to me the interpretation of it, thou shalt be clothed with purple, and there shall be golden chains upon thy neck, and thou shalt be third ruler in my kingdom. Listen to this. He's in a dire situation trying to find out his future. Then it says, And Daniel said before the king, Let thy gift be to thyself, and give the presence of thy house to another. But I will read the writings, and I will make known to thee the interpretations of it. It says, O king, the Most High God gave to thy father Nebuchadnezzar a kingdom, and majesty and honor and glory. And by reason of his majesty which he gave to him, all nations, tribes, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom he would slow, and whom he would not, and whom he would smoke, and whom he would exalt, and whom he would abase. But when his heart was lifted up, and his spirit was emboldened to act proudly, he was disposed from his royal throne, and his honor was taken from him. And he was driven forth from men, and his heart was given to him. And his heart was given him after the nature of wild beasts, and his dwellings was with the wild asses. And his dwellings was with the wild asses, and they fed him with grass as an ox, and his body was bathed with the dew of heaven, until he knew that the Most High God, the Most High Anani, is Yahuwah of the kingdoms of men, and will give to whoever he shall please. And thou, accordingly, his son Belshazzar, has not humbled thy heart before Anani. Knowest thou not all this? And thou hast been exalted against Yahuwah Anani of heaven. And they have brought before thee the vessels of his house, and thy noblemen, and thy mistress, and thy concubines have drunk wine out of them. And thou hast praised the God of gold, silver, brass, iron, and wood, and stone, which see not, which hears not, and know not. And Anani, in whose hands are thy breath, and all thy ways have thou not glorified. He said, this is what gets me. And this is what's hard for people to understand. It says in the last part in the verse of 23, it says, and the Anani, in whose hands are thy breath, and all thy ways have thou not glorified. And see, a lot of the times, the people in the government does not acknowledge the Most High, because he gives them the breath of life. And when he gives them the breath of life, they think that they did everything they wanted to do. That's why it was the fall of Babylon. Because Nebuchadnezzar was arrogant. His son was arrogant. If you look at every nation that is presented before Yahuwah, all the leadership was arrogant. So the Most High had to send them a sign. The sign was the writing on the wall. So now let me give you some stuff. Let me give you some facts about the Roman Empire. The great Roman Empire. The great Roman Empire that fell around 475, 500 AD. The great Roman Empire. I looked up the facts. I said, why did the great Roman Empire fall? Number one, 8 reasons why Rome fell. Number one, invasions by barbarian tribes. Invasions by barbarian tribes. The same thing that we got going on the southern border. That's one. They had an invasion of foreign people into the country. Okay? Number two, why did Rome fall? Economic troubles and over-reliance on slaves, labor. That's the second problem that the great Roman Empire had, is that they had economical problems or financial problems and over-reliance on slave labor. See, people who go to work every day now is considered to be slave labor. You just getting paid for it. But then it says, then I turn around and ask the question. Then I turn around and ask the question, do America have labor problems? Then it says, the decline of the American labor force participation is nothing new. Fewer and fewer Americans have been participating in the labor force for decades, resulting in a smaller workforce that is expected to continue to shrink. For years to come. So the same problems that the great Roman Empire had, and the reason why they fell, is the same problems that the United States is having. They had an over-reliance on slave labor, and they was having economical problems. We got gas prices of $4 and some change. The number 3 problems that was invasion by barbarian tribes. The second problem is economical troubles and over-reliance on slave labor. 3, the rise of the Eastern Empire. The rise of the Eastern Empire. Okay, I looked up on Wikipedia. Russia is the largest country in the Eastern European Empire. So, Russia is a threat to our stability here in America. So everything that we got going on, what we got going on today, Rome had, and as well as the Babylonian Empire had. The Medo-Persians was coming in to invade Babylon. The Eastern Empire was invading Rome. Now Russia has the abilities to overthrow the United States because of the BRICS. What's number 4? Number 4. Overexpansion in the military. Overexpansion and military overspending. That was another reason why Rome fell. Overexpansion means you're spreading yourself thin, and overspending in the military, right? That means that they're going to too many different countries and they're putting too much money into the military. Okay, and then it says the United States maintain over 800 military bases in more than 70 countries and territories abroad, from giant little America to smaller radiant facilities. Britain, France, and Russia, by contrast, have about 30 foreign bases combined. Listen to that. America has over 800. Britain, France, and Russia, by contrast, have about 30 foreign bases combined. My calculation, maintaining bases and troops overseas costs about 85 to 100 billion. My wife about to fall asleep. It says, my calculations and maintaining bases and troops overseas cost about 85 to 100 billion in fiscal year 2014. But it says the total bases and troops in war zones is 160 to 200 billion per year. So what made that Rome fall? Because they were overspending on military and trying to go to too many different countries. Is the same thing that's happening here in America. Okay, number 5. You got, first one is invasion by a barbarian tribe, the southern border. Then you got economic problems and over-reliance on slave laborers. That's number 2. Number 3 is the rise of the Eastern Empire. That's number 3. Number 4 is overexpansion in military overspending. That's number 4. Number 5 is government corruption and political instabilities. Okay? That was happening in Rome. Then I turn around and then it says, as of 2024, the United States scored 69 on a scale from 0 means highly corrupt to 100 means very clean. According to the Transparency International 2023 Corruption Perception Index, people perceive America as a D when it comes down to corruption. They're telling you America is not as clean as you think they are. America is corrupt just like every other major country around the world. And see, corruption is part of a country dying out. Then number 6, it says the arrival of Huns and the migrations of the barbarian tribes. It says the Romans created a dangerous enemy within their own borders. When the oppression became too much to bear, the Goths rose up in revolt and eventually routed a Roman army and killed the Eastern Empire. That's what they're talking about, the Civil War movie. But then it turned around and says, now a new study suggests that migration has more far-reaching consequences than merely depressing wages and lowering employment rates of low-skilled African-American males. It also appears to push some would-be workers into crime and later into prisons. So the migration was a problem for Rome. Migration is going to be a problem for the United States. 2 more. Christianity and the loss of traditional values is number 7. Okay? That was one of the falls of Rome. They lost their traditional values. Understand that. Then it says a New Palm Research Center survey finds that 80% of the U.S. adults say religion roles in American life is shrinking. A percentage as high as it ever has been in our survey. 8 in 10 Americans say religion is losing influence in public life. So the same thing that happened in the Roman Empire is happening now. The same 7 or 8 things that made Rome lose their capabilities is making us lose our capabilities. The last one, it says the weakening of the Roman legions, unable to recruit enough soldiers from the Roman citizens. That means that they was not able to recruit people for the military. The United States Armed Forces are facing an unprecedented recruiting crisis. The inabilities of the military to fill its ranks is an obvious national security issue that every American should care about. So, what am I saying? Huh? The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. The reason why I say the writing is on the wall, the same issues that Rome had is the same issues that the United States have. The same issues that Babylon had is the same issues that we have. And what was the main issue that it was? It was in verse 23. Verse 23 in Daniel chapter 5. It says this right here. It says, but thou lifted up thyself against Yahuwah of the heavens. That's America's problems. The main issue is that United States, Rome, and Babylon thought that they was conquering all these nations and not realizing that Yahuwah gave them the power to do it. Anytime when you think that you doing something and not give the credit to Yahuwah is when you're going to fall. So if we look at all the 8 problems that Rome had, we got. If you look at all the 8 problems that Babylon had, we got. We just got to understand that the writing is on the wall. So it says, and I'm done. It says, but thou hast lifted up thyself against Yahuwah of heavens, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords and thy wives and thy concubines have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of silver, gold, brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear not, nor hear, nor know. And Adonai, whose hands thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, has thou not glorified. See, the United States haven't glorified Yahuwah. They saying they did it. So the writing is on the wall for us to see it. We just got to take heed to it. So Father, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. We just ask that you continue to let your will be done. We ask that you continue to cover us. We ask that you continue to guide us. We ask that you continue to lead us and direct our footsteps. We just ask that you continue to let us see the way you want us to see and hear the way you want us to hear and speak the way you want us to speak. We just ask that you just continue to let your will be done on earth. We see that the writing is on the wall. We see the arrogance of Babylon. We see the arrogance of Rome. Now we see the arrogance of the United States. But all of them have the same similarities. All of them had the same issues before they fell. We just ask that you help us to be able to take heed to what's going on. Let us prepare for this spiritually and physically for what's to come. We ask that you help us to be able to grow our own food, be able to purify our own water, and protect ourselves from our enemies. But first and foremost, Father, we ask that you help us to be able to give you all the praise and honor and glory through all the situations that may be going on in the earth. Father, we ask that you continue to impart wisdom on us so that we can take heed to your word and be obedient to your word. Not to pray, not to worship and love the car, clothes, the houses that we have, but give you all the praise and honor and glory. Because you are the creator of all things. You are the giver of life. So Father and Abba, we ask that you continue to help us to understand that. Let us continue to walk in humbleness and seek your face daily. Let us continue to ask you for guidance and leadership and wisdom so that we can continue to make the right decisions. Let us not lift ourselves up, but let us lower ourselves to become servants to your word. We ask that you continue to protect us and heal our minds, our spirit, and our souls. Protect our offsprings as they travel the highways and byways. We ask that you continue to give them wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Give them visions and dreams. We love you, we praise you, and we honor you. And all these things we pray in your higher name. So let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
my son to free you mentally? Haven't I showed you the gods of your enemies? Haven't I gave you a heart that you remember me? Haven't I help you understand your pain? Haven't I did I give you back your name? Haven't I showed you everything is vain? Haven't I narrow pain is the way? His word don't come by void. An everlasting covenant he made we can't avoid. We still see that rainbow in the sky, cause this is story. The almighty power, but y'all give him glory. Babylon is falling right before you. Haven't I? Hosea 1:10, y'all we royal. Haven't I? The valley of the dry done came alive. Haven't I? Hosea 6:2, we been provided. Haven't I? He done sent his messengers to open up our eyes. He done sent Messiah, laid his life down and died. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. See your mighty hand, you see the affliction, but get us out this lane. We know you don't change, but do it all again. Lifting up this rod over waters, trust your plan. We gon' trust your plan. Haven't I woke you up in your captivity? Haven't I sent my son to free you mentally? Haven't I showed you the gods of your enemies? Haven't I gave you a heart that you remember me? Haven't I help you understand your pain? Haven't I did I give you back your name? Haven't I showed you everything is vain? Haven't I